Welcome back to Switched to Linux. Well, today we're going to talk about update wars and the fact that Linux Mint wins. This is going to be a somewhat negative video, so if you're like, Linux is the best thing in the world, I'm going to give you a couple of negatives, a couple of downsides. To be fair, these types of downsides have also been reported on Windows and Mac as well, so it's not like Linux sucks and the other ones are good, but I hate updates. And in our world's like update, and the reality is updates are really good when you're getting security patches. They're really bad when you're getting feature updates. And that's the thing I wish would separate out. And it's the reason why I tend to use Debian-based systems more for production than I use Arch-based systems, because I do not want everything under the sun to change. I do not want a lot of issues changing around. I don't want my whole software to change all of the functions and other issues like that. I'm just like, I don't want any of that. And so as you push updates onto the system, you'll get to the point where it's like you pray nothing goes wrong. So yesterday I had just a little bit of data left. It's the last day of my data plan, so I got to use it because it's going to recycle. So like, all right, so that's usually the day I push updates. What could possibly go wrong? Well, I got everything from perfect smoothness, that would be Linux Mint, to aggravated annoyance, to Let's explain my updating days. First and foremost, Linux Mint updates flawlessly. I have not noticed any differences, any changes, other than the one package, which is on most of my computers, not this one right here that I'm streaming on, but the computers that I do my basic work on, and that is Thunderbird. Thunderbird is one of these programs that just rolls out brand new features in every update. I have not checked, but I'm probably pretty sure the latest Thunderbird is probably included in the Linux Mint. I just didn't boot that up. Well, what happened with Thunderbird? Well, Thunderbird in version 102, they decide that they're going to do the most annoying thing in the history of the universe. Message threading is on and by default now. Yay! The annoying crap that is the most annoying, stupidity I've ever seen in an email platform. Here's the theory. You get an email and you have this reply thread, so you can find the one thread and you can go back and forth and say, oh, this is the reply, this is the reply, this is the reply. Well, sometimes you get emails that are like 1,000 messages deep, and it's kind of crazy. This is kind of problematic in a way. Now, some people may really like this functionality. I have not met the person who intrinsically looks at this and goes, wow, that's amazing. No, but what happens is people push this crap on the world, and then when the world gets this crap pushed on it, it's just like, whatever, and you can't do much about it, or you don't really know how. Now, evolution has had the ability to do message threading for a long time, and there is a global checkbox to roll down and click turn off. Boom! Solved everywhere. Not Thunderbird! Oh no. They push this out like it's the most amazing thing that everybody and their brother wants. Threading is a useful way of displaying your message lists in Thunderbird instead of just listing messages sorted by date, because who would possibly want to find their email by date? I mean, you push the button at the top, you can sort by who sent it, you can sort by the date it was sent. I mean, all this kind of stuff. Message threading, try and find the response. Good luck. It's not as simple as this, especially when you got like 15 people on an email thread and everybody's emailing back and forth and the system has no earthly idea what in the world's going on. Then you wish you had things sorting by date. This is the default view starting in version 102. Okay, now, Thunderbird, though, it's not like evolution with a unified inbox where you just have one basic place and do all your settings. Oh no. What is it? It puts the emails in a together hierarchical. This is especially handy to keep conversations on mailing lists organized, which doesn't work if you have that many people going back and forth. But it also means saves you from losing individual messages of conversations and stacks of other messages. No, there's very easy ways around that. Okay, so enable threading on a folder To disable threading on a folder, if the threaded view doesn't quite suit you, you can disable it by following the steps in the unthread in the sort by menu. Applying the threading to other folders, of course, they give you a brand new threading option inside of your tabs over here, which you can quickly turn off if you want. Then you can apply the current view to, and near the bottom of the menu, and choose target folder from the list. Here's the problem that some of us say is that this is useless garbage and it's completely annoying. And they think it's the greatest thing since sliced bread, but there's other people that don't. So, for example, this person here says in any folder, I can untick thread from the column chooser, but I'm using Thunderbird for 11 different email accounts with between 4 and 8 folders each. Is there a way to turn this crap off globally? Nope. So this is a new annoyance. Every single one of my computers that now runs Thunderbird, I have to go through and turn this crap off on every single one of them. It might be worth dropping Thunderbird and finding another email platform. So if there is another email platform that's similar to Thunderbird, let me know in the comments. I'm going to check them out because I'm not dealing with this garbage. You don't have a way to globally turn it off everywhere. Screw you. I am done with your damn application. All right. That's the global one that's going to be everywhere. Now, Manjaro, they push out, starting, I guess, in early September, they push out a random update to everybody running Manjaro and Plasma, which I am doing, which, hey, turns on an activated behavior. It turns your Plasma into the useless abomination known as GNOME. If I wanted to use GNOME, Plasma, and Manjaro people, I would install GNOME on my system. No, I do not want my mouse to accidentally hover to the top of the screen because I've rolled the mouse out of the way, and then, whoop, my whole view changed, and I see an overview of everything in this useless format that looks cool, but it's totally useless. My God, you morons. So, despite having my system been set up for 2 years, having nothing active in the hot corners, now this is the screen edges, and I have explicitly turned all of this crap off 2 years ago when I built the system, pushed the update through yesterday, and boom, look at this. You want this amazing screen view. So this person here responds, not sure how to call this behavior in order to search for it. When my mouse goes near the top left-hand corner, all active apps show up, blanking out the desktop, minimize, and apps I'm working with. I understand why some would find this useful, but for me and my motor skills, it's very aggravating. Is there a way I can cancel it? Of course there is. It's easy. System settings, workspace behavior, screen edges. My question is, Manjaro and Plasma folks, why in the hell did you turn this abomination on when I've explicitly set all hot corners and hot edges and all other hot crap turned off since the time I've actually had the computer running? For the love, why are you changing my system settings? What are you, Windows? Every single time I push the update, it wants to change everything. Oh, look at this new feature. We want to throw it in your face. You really want everything that you're working on to disappear on the screen and show you a view of everything that's possibly open. So, of course, there's a little bit more in this thread here about it, but maybe we even have a picture of what this abomination looks like. But it's basically they have activated a screen edge in a place where I did not have a screen edge. So I first turn this on, I'm like, what the hell is this? This is basically what it looks like. It's basically turning your computer into, Mac and GNOME. If I wanted to use GNOME, Plasma folks, I would. Oh, those are kind of easy. They're annoying, but, whatever. I can work with them. Oh, Endeavour. EndeavourOS, as often as I have praised you, you get a giant screw you in this one because in their full transparency report here, full transparency on the grub issue. Now, this is so bad, any single article you land on, this is pinned at the top. Because literally, if you update Endeavour, it crashes your system. It doesn't crash your system. It doesn't break your system. What it does is it deletes grub. So full transparency on the update 8/29. Now, I'm recording this September 16th. This is August 29th. This is 17 days ago since this was posted. And after updating to grub 206R322, many users reported their machines could fail to boot or booted directly into BIOS or other OS. What caused it? Well, with this commit, there was an issue with the grub. Basically, it wiped grub out of your system. How come not everybody was impacted? It kind of depends on the FW setup. In my case, I did. Now, there was actually something down here that indicated that, yeah, this was kind of fixed. Newsflash, it's not. As of last night, I updated my system, and because it's like midnight, I'm like, all right, last thing, I'm getting kind of tired. How bad could the updates be? Well, wiping out grub isn't the worst thing that could happen on a computer, but it comes perilously close when you boot up your computer. I'm like, there's my, its whole drive is encrypted. So there's my passkey. Enter my passkey. I lean back in my chair. I close my eyes, and this white flash shows up. I'm like, that's not normal. I open my eyes on the BIOS screen. I'm like, what the hell? All right, shut the computer down, reboot it. All right. BIOS. What the hell? Really? Really, Endeavour? So I start looking up first Arch, fix BIOS, or fix grub, and I'm like, and then I'm like, oh, you know, this is Endeavour. Endeavour has good support. Let's go ahead and Endeavour. And then I land on this article here. Latest grub package update needs some manual intervention. 22 days ago. Good to know, Endeavour. Do you guys ever read all of the forums and system logs and everything before you push? I mean, maybe we should, but this is Arch, for crying out loud. Literally, I updated the whole system. It took me an hour to get my system back up online following these steps. And once I had it back on, it says, hey, there's 2 more updates. You want to apply them? I dare you to. I'm like, hell no. I'm going to bed. I mean, really. So the latest grub package needs some manual intervention. What happens? Well, it kills grub is what it does. The bird came in and just ate that grub. I went fishing with the grub. I don't know. Maybe I was using it on my Tux Traveler video from today where I was, fishing. A friend of mine was fishing. Okay, so grub update today is causing issues on UEFI systems. It will make most systems unbootable, so take care. Of course, if you've read this prior to pushing the update, then you know that you either don't update grub. One of the 2 options is you don't update grub. The other option is before you reboot your system, run grub install before you reboot your system. But of course, after you update all these things, it's like, hey, an update's requested. Who doesn't just push reboot right away? Me, following the instructions. So basically, I had to download. Now, this caused me to have to eat up another 2 gigabytes of my highly limited data plan. I'm paying over $100 for 150 gigabytes of data. That's all I have in the month. Now it's midnight, so I have to do it now. So I have to use 2 gigabytes of my 150 gigabytes of data to download the brand new EndeavourOS because none of the older ones work. And so I have to download a brand new one, basically wasting a bunch of my data. Put this on an ISO, boot into this. Now, this guy here, praise for this guy who, let me back up out of that one there. Praise for this guy here, Joe Camprad. Very amazing article here about using Arch chroot, which allows you to fix it. Basically identify where your partitions are, which mine actually wasn't on the list. I am encrypted, but for some reason my EFI partition system is not involved in the encryption like it should be. But nevertheless, I went down here on the bottom for encrypted systems. I followed these steps to the T, which is going to be unlocking my device, mapping my device into the mount point, and then setting the EFI system onto my mount partition. Once you get down there, enter chroot here, and then once I get to chroot, come down here and do grub install, and that is going to fix your system. So this is the problem, is that you'll get Linux systems like Arch that will want to update all the time, and sometimes things aren't patched up right. And this is a pretty serious bug to not be fixed after 30 days. This is a major serious bug to not be fixed after 30 days. Now, sure, if I spent any time on the Endeavour forum or looked at the news at any point in time on Endeavour, I might have seen this. But nevertheless, this is a crazy, unacceptable thing. And then you get this combined with the Thunderbird update. And also, oh, by the way, I found it today, Brave stopped working as well. First, it stopped working on YouTube in general. Brave is the browser I use for YouTube. Don't use it for anything else. I had to reflash the thing. Once it did that, now it's stuttering a little bit. Is it worth just dropping EndeavourOS and going to something else? I don't know. But nevertheless, Linux Mint did indeed win the update wars. When I used Linux Mint, pushed the updates, nothing to my knowledge has yet broken. I have not seen anything broken yet anyway. The Thunderbird is probably going to be an annoying thing, but whatever. Actually, I don't even know if I have Thunderbird on that particular computer. I'm not even sure. It's a backup from a backup, really. So, but everything else, I did a lot of things with it. Everything else I tested worked perfectly fine. And so I'm looking at this going, man, that's the factor. Linux Mint once again wins the update wars. Manjaro, what are y'all doing? EndeavourOS, unacceptable to not fix an issue with grub. And I did find somewhere it said this should be fixed, but it's not. It's not in my setup. So there is kind of my thoughts. Be warned when you're updating. Give yourself some extra time to fix things. And hey, if you have them, have some available bootable ISOs floating around in case you need to log into your system to do some form of fix on your platform. I know the Linux Mint ISO now does have some boot repair tools on it. MX Linux comes with boot repair tools. EndeavourOS has good documentation. That's the good thing about Endeavour is they had the documentation. Once I typed in to look up the problem on EndeavourOS, I was able to find and fix the problem from there. So that's the good news about it, but still, when you're doing updates, be warned, sometimes things do break. And this is why I'm not a huge fan of pushing updates. I do not need to be spending hours of my time every day fixing borked updates. And unfortunately, that happens when you're pushing updates, especially when you get crap like Plasma. Hey, look at our new feature. Thunderbird, hey, look at this awesome thing. We're going to put these stupid message threads by default and not have a way to turn it off globally. Are you idiots? Really? I mean, come on. Anyway, that'll end this angry, saucy video for today. Thanks for watching, everybody. Have a look over at the support page on the website switchedtolinux.com, and I hope that you enjoy switching to Linux. Thank you for watching this video from Switched to Linux. This channel would not be possible without the backing of the program supporters scrolling on the screen now. You can be a supporter at Patreon at patreon.com/TOMM. or at thinklifemedia.com. I also want to thank the open source community who creates such excellent software that makes producing this show possible. Please remember to support your software communities. Thank you, and I hope that you enjoy switching to Linux.